Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut, Real Estate Jerky Daily. Mike's on vacation, enjoying the Rockies. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well this week. Christmas is next week. It's just right around the corner. So, guys, get out and get your gifts. You only have a couple more days. Don't wait till the last night. That's nothing you want to do your significant other if you really care about them. All right, enough about that guilt. Move on to what's going on in the market. What do we have today? Well, we don't have a ton of news. The Dow's down 102 points right now. The mortgage-backed securities, let's see, rates are worse by about 3 basis points. The 10-year sitting at 4.15. I heard a gentleman yesterday talking on one of the reels. I don't normally consume as much as I create, but he was talking about stop worrying about the 10-year, stop worrying about where rates are and everything else. Just focus on what you can control, is whether or not it's a good time for you to buy, not anything else. You can't control anything else but yourself. And I thought that was a great idea to stop making us, oh my goodness, rates were so much. Yes, they were, but they're never going to be back. So move on. All right. So what do we have? Talked about the stocks trading. They're not trading higher today. They're down a little bit. And I think it's because of the consumer price index coming out tomorrow, the CPI report. Mortgages and the 10 years pretty much flat. I mean, negative two basis points and up a basis point is not really moving much. One of the reason is there is a 20-year bond auction this afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, which is much earlier on the West Coast for us. And it depends on how that does is going to influence bond yields depending on, again, on demand. Jobless data and labor concerns was put out there by Fed Governor Waller. He expressed concern about that job growth may be overstated. We've been talking about this earlier this week. That he's thinking that they've overstated job growth in the BLS jobs report by like 60,000 jobs a month. And so implying that basically what we've been saying for a while here is that the job creation is flat. It's actually negative. The unemployment rate is much worse than we know it. If you actually look at the unemployment rate, it actually went up to 4.6%, which doesn't sound like that much, but because that only takes into account people actively looking for work, meaning that you are unemployed and you're actively looking for work. But some people, after 26 weeks or whenever the amount of time that you get kicked off the unemployment, you stop searching for work and you take whatever you can get. And that's called the U6 number. And the U6 number unemployment was close to 8.7% right now, which is a very high sign, high sign for, I think, since 2017. And also that's a huge sign for recession. Don't know if it's going to happen, but that's what that is. What else we got? I'm not going to get into what we expect tomorrow for CPI, but we expect it to come in. And if it doesn't come in what they expected, it's going to, rates will get worse. If it comes in better, rates will get better. The one positive note out there is, whether it's positive or negative, shelter inflation, which means the cost of rents have been coming down. And that helps out a lot. And that's going to help out the CPI report tomorrow. So I think there might be a quick, whoa, look at what's happening here. What else is going on? Earlier than in this year, we saw that Rocket bought Mr. Cooper. Well, I think they spent $1.9 billion on that. United Wholesale Mortgage just is acquiring 2 harbors, and it's going to double its servicing portfolio to nearly $400 billion. Why does that matter? Well, United Wholesale Mortgage is the top lender, and they only go through brokers. That is what's amazing about that. No retail, all brokers. I use them a lot. I like their whole process. That's how I can close a VA loan in 8 days. Just did another one, not in 8 days. It took about 11 because of some other stuff. So that's the big. Now they'll be the 8th largest mortgage servicer. I think Rocket's is the largest with everything they had. Well, UWM didn't hold on to their portfolio until recently. They used to send it to Mr. Cooper, and then with Mr. Rocket buying Mr. Cooper, they weren't happy, and so they made some changes. What else we got? Mortgage applications, for ending last week. Let's back up. So they said mortgage rate. This is MBA, Mortgage Banker Association, stated that the conventional rate last week was 6.375%. That's what they're stating. And a lot of times that is with some points. I don't know. It depends on your FICO score, your down payment, all those other numbers, about 26 different things, and whether or not primary, secondary. But let's look at mortgage applications for purchasing. We're down 2.8% week over week, but still up 13% year over year. Refinance applications are down 3.6%, yet still up 86% year over year. Now, out of all applications, 59% of applications are for refinances out there. That is bigger, way bigger than it was before, and bigger than last year. All right, that's right. Fed Governor Waller met with President Trump yesterday. He's meeting today. I thought it was yesterday, but I guess it's today. He's one of the top three contenders to lead the Fed, along with Warsh and Hassett. I don't think Hassett's really in the running anymore because what he said the other day, how he won't be pushed into doing things, and how some people hire people to be really loyal to them. And I'm not saying anything else other than that. Yeah, one of the biggest things they're seeing in Texas, and I think it's going to be start seeing in a lot of other places, is the fact that they're putting a lot of the batteries along on the houses. Lanier on new homes and base power are leading the way by offering built-in backup batteries in Texas homes. 70% of new buyers in these communities are opting in, signaling a shift from amenities to necessities. In March, during a severe storm, base power homes ran up to 23 hours off grid while surrounding homes went dark. That's a huge thing. I even was thinking about doing it here, but we haven't had major outages for a while. But up in in the cabin, we constantly have them, and people have the generators for up to, and I forget what they're called, Generacs. There you go, and other types of generators. Why does this matter? Because in Texas they have instability on their grid, especially when they have the ice storms. A lot of stuff happens there. I'm not talking about climate change and all that, but this will help with people, not being out of power and being able to do stuff at home, especially if you work from home. And hopefully if they do this, they can get this over in the Philippines, because my team that's over there, the other day, their power was out and they couldn't work. And that's not a good thing. But that's all we have. So everything's going to be looking at the CPI report tomorrow. Geez, it's only Wednesday. It seems like it's already Friday. Tomorrow is Thursday, and the CPI report will come out. And that's going to tell us where the core inflation's really at. And we're all expecting it to be lower and continuing to go down with everything that's going on at this time. And that's pretty much all the information I had today. I had to really reach for a couple other articles, a couple other stories today, because there's not a ton. It's all about tomorrow. It's all about the CPI report tomorrow. And again, like I said in the beginning of the show, stop worrying about. I appreciate you guys coming here and listening to us, especially when Mike's here and we banter and everything, and people like it. But really, just focus on just business. Don't worry about everything else that's going on, because there's always going to be something, always. And we just need to stop worrying about that. One of the things you really need to do is niche down to what your niche is. I interviewed a guy earlier this week on Helping the Brave, actually, and he's an agent in New Jersey, and he really just focuses on divorces, and that's a really, because think about it, 50% of people go in divorce of people, and that would still be of people owning homes. So maybe that's something like Mike really focuses on probate, and I really focus on vets and business owners. Even though I do the reverse mortgages, that's not something I really focus on. I have that avenue, and people come to me about it. But you need to really niche down to whatever you're doing and make sure that you're working in your niche. And I know a lot of people worry about, then I can't do other business. Nothing. That's not what I'm saying. You just have to have all your stuff going to who your perfect client is, so they can hear you. And that's what you need to do. All right. I'm done for the day. Not the full day, just for right this moment. We have to work on a few docs to get out there. We got a bunch of stuff closing before end of the month. All right, everybody, make it a great, that wasn't supposed to be a brag. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend anybody. All right, make it a great day. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. If you like what we do here, we keep forgetting to tell you, like and subscribe. Go over to my YouTube channel, Ed Parcaut, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. All right, everybody, make it a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.